Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you around the world. Welcome to the daily Trade the Chain crypto update, where we give you everything you need to know for the next 24 hours and hopefully the next few days. Today is October 18th. It is a Tuesday, and we are slightly off of the highs that we faced yesterday. We have a continued earnings week happening. I believe Netflix reports today, Tesla reports tomorrow. So the market will definitely be keeping an eye out for those reports. As it pertains to sentiment, we're definitely all across the board for many assets. ADA bullish, Solana bearish, Ethereum bullish, Bitcoin bearish to neutral. So a lot of variance in sentiment after this wonky activity. But we are seeing some hourly bullish sentiment crop up, which is good for potentially the short term. So looking at equities, we can see that shortly after the open today, we came off of the highs that we boosted into overnight, and we basically closed that gap very quickly because basically the market closed right around here, and we closed that gap as soon we opened with a gap. Although we're looking at futures, the gaps pertain to the actual indices, and the market closes at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is right here. And you can see we rose 2% overnight before giving that back right at the open. So not positive for perma bulls, but the fact that we bounced at the close yesterday and immediately have been heading higher throughout the morning since that bounce is very positive. If we zoom out, I think really good targets in the short term would be obviously 37.65, which was the high overnight, and then we have 3800, which is a big deal as that is the previous high. That's basically the October high, as we can see it, and then the September. Not September high, but basically the range that we traded in mid-September is 3900-ish. It's just above 3900. And then we have the lower end of that range, which is like 3830. And then we have a very nice POC here at about 3830. So if equities can continue this trajectory higher, these would be the targets that I would line out, that I would like to take profits or target for a high beta play in terms of crypto, because crypto typically follows these equities and moves in a much more extreme fashion. So if we can break above, let's get our little ruler out. So basically, here's the steps. We break above this, we flip this to support. We break above this, we flip this to support. Maybe we have some volatility down here, and then we end up heading higher and have some resistance at this level. And then, don't want that. And then we, have our all the way up kind of move. That would be ideal. Of course, we could certainly, maybe fall back here and have a wider move. But we do have this earnings week in front of us, which should create some volatility to into this evening, into tomorrow. So it's going to be tough to say. If Tesla earnings are positive, that will definitely assist with bullish price action. I think same with Netflix as well. Netflix is obviously one of the FANG stocks and is a very large conglomerate. So if Netflix and Tesla earnings are more or less positive, along with some good outlooks from travel sector, which pertains to business, then I can totally see this going up. Of course, if we cannot break above 3740, then we're probably headed back down to those lows again. If we can't hold 3680, of course, we're probably headed back here. So we'll have to, this is going to be a very important spot to see if we can, try and kind of make that move happen. So as it pertains to crypto, we Bitcoin, and let me redraw my line because I reset this line a bit earlier. So Bitcoin was pretty much unable to break this trend. which is definitely a bit worrisome for the bulls. We definitely, it would have been nice to see that break above the trend, whereas equities did break above the trend. Bitcoin failed. Definitely worrisome for the bulls. We're still, hovering around the 200-day moving average, which is, relatively important, moving average on every scale. We held above 19.1 throughout the weekend. We held it above yesterday. We're now, back at that 19.3, 19.4 level. That is just above, where the high from from October 16th. So we're hovering just above that high. If we can hold 19.4, there's good reason to believe that we can at least try and tackle 19.6, 19.7 again, get above this POC, ping pong around here a little bit, and then potentially break higher. Of course, if 19.4 fails, then we're back again to 19.1, to where we would hope for another boost back up to 19.6, 19.7, hover here, and then boost higher. And then, of course, if 19.1 fails, then we're back towards, 18.8 or 18.6, which is the range that we traded in when we dumped on CPI. And of course, the low is that 18.2 number. I don't see that happening, especially if equities, continue to maintain strength. If equities continue to maintain strength, it would make sense that Bitcoin would likely follow one of these trajectories. Maybe it drops back to 19.3 again and heads higher. But it should be able to maintain this range and move up if equities can continue on their trajectory. But we do know that 19.1 and 18.8 should serve as some sort of support if we end up dropping back lower. So remember that 3880, 3900 target is definitely still in play for the S&P 500, especially if earnings are positive. So no reason to completely fade Bitcoin here, but it is definitely worrisome that we're consolidating underneath the 200 moving average without breaking it. We definitely want to flip 19.4 sooner rather than later. So for Ethereum, basically, the moral of the story here is completely unable to break above 1340. So definitely worrisome there. And of course, we held, I'm not even going to draw that because this POC is going to serve as support. So basically over the weekend, we held, 1280. We're now hovering around 1300, which is coinciding with this POC and the 200-day moving average. If we can hold 1300, there is reason to believe we're back up to 1340, relatively easily, maybe some consolidation here, boost up and some consolidation. We could completely range here too. It's obviously it's failed to break above 1340 since early October. So definitely, something to look out for there. But of course, if 1300 holds, then we would want to see 1330 hold. If 1330 can hold, then we're back at 1340. If we can break above 1340, then we've got, this POC at 1350 and 1360. So we would hopefully kind of, ping pong around one of these areas. And then before trying to find firm support back at 1340 again. So I could see something like that if we can break up. But of course, if earnings are muted or if Bitcoin is unable to move, then I would expect complete, more ranging from Ethereum, potentially more ranging from Bitcoin as well. If we can't get above that, above this 19.7 level, you can definitely see how we might be able, we might just end up ranging here and having, and suffer. Which is not unlike crypto, at least in its current state. So, Ethereum sentiment, Bitcoin sentiment moved bearish overnight, is holding around that neutral level. Hourly sentiment quite positive. Ethereum daily sentiment moved into heavily bullish territory last night, which is something to look out for. And hourly sentiment was very positive this morning, continues to be. So the fact that both hourly and Bitcoin and Ethereum hourly sentiment are bullish, equities look strong, at least currently. That means that, we likely have a bit more bullishness in the air. But of course, Netflix earnings are right after the close, which is about 2 hours from now. And if those are bad, then we could definitely see this come back off of or come back to today's lows, which would be about 36.90. So something to be careful of. There is no clear picture. We obviously have earnings week to deal with. Sentiment is continually turbulent. but the short term, it does look like bullishness is in the cards. So good luck, happy trading. We'll see everybody tomorrow. And of course, if you're not in Trade the Chain community, you're missing out on all of the early alpha. Plus, Cent is live on Aircoins now. Check out our Twitter and our community and learn more about how you can pick up Cent tokens for free on the go. So good luck, happy trading. See everybody tomorrow.